Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, senators are being urged to launch an investigation over a viral video of a convoy of luxury vehicles using sirens or wang-wang. Calls to suspend higher PhilHealth premium rates gain more support, and the Senate creates new posts for deputy majority leaders. Senator JV Ejercito joins us live. Netizens call on lawmakers to investigate a viral video showing the use of emergency vehicle sirens or wang-wang by a convoy of luxury vehicles. Last week, Senator JV Ejercito tweeted that video showing a BMW, a Rolls-Royce, and Mercedes vehicles driving past other cars in broad daylight while using sirens. Ejercito hopes President Bongbong Marcos will prohibit these acts, noting that only the President, the Vice President, the Senate President, and House Speaker and Chief Justice are entitled to a motorcycle escort convoy. Meantime, the PNP Highway Patrol Group has recommended the regulation of the sale of wang-wang and blinkers to avoid any abuse. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Senator JV Ejercito. Senator, welcome back to The Source, and thank you so much for your time.
Hi, Pinky. Nice to be back here. Nice to see you also up and about.
Thank you, Senator. Let's start with the video that you posted on Twitter. Let's just be clear on this. Hindi ho kayo ang kumuha ng video na to. This was a video sent to you by a friend.
Yes, Pinky, it was shared to me and sent to me by a friend because I tweeted on this issue that there's been a lot of abuse already. So a lot of my friends were sending me videos, pictures of convoys that they encounter in the recent days. So it was just sent to me.
So there have been a number of videos actually that you've received, but you only posted this one. Am I correct?
Yes, Pinky. Mostly are pictures only, and it was not very clear. But a lot of people have been sending me and texting me, and reporting to me that they saw a lot of these types of convoys along the road.
So first off, have authorities actually identified the owner of the vehicle? Do you have any update on this?
Well, I do not have an update yet, but the good thing about this, Pinky, because of that simple tweet that I did, the HPG already and the PNP, OIC PNP Chief Vicente Danao and HPG Director Jel Marvin already started a crackdown. They have already made some arrests the past week, because of as a result of my rant or my tweet. So at least they have another. Actually, Pinky, there is already a presidential decree, that only allows certain members of the officials, that from president up to the chief justice. So it's a matter of enforcement. But lately, Pinky, I have noticed, not lately, but in the recent years, there has been abuse. It's not only officials, local officials. A lot of local officials also have convoys. But the sad thing about this, even private individuals, businessmen, pogos, private vehicles have blinkers and sirens already. So it disrupts traffic flow, Pinky, especially when they pass through intersections. The flow is disrupted because everybody stops to let the convoys pass. So that's why, Pinky, I raised this concern, because as an ordinary citizen, although I'm in the Senate right now, we do not use these kinds of warning devices, because these are only for people who are allowed and for emergency vehicles.
And with the PD, you're talking about Presidential Decree 96. Is this the one that you're referring to?
Yes, Pinky.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, okay. But Senator, I know that you said you don't have an update just yet, but do you have Any idea on who is actually the owner of this vehicle?
Well, there have been people sending me information, but at this point I will just let the PNP and the authorities do their investigations. No? Just like during the hit and run incident,
Right.
it's up to the authorities already to prove and to investigate.
But what you're saying is, you know who owns the vehicle. Kilala nyo na po.
I really do not know this. Hindi ko pa kilala. May nagbigay ng mga information, some people, but we have yet to verify. I would like to wait for the investigation of the PNP instead of
Making your own
of
conclusions.
the information coming from me. Yes.
But the information that you're receiving regarding the owner of this vehicle, isang tao lang po itong natatanggap ninyo na siya yung may-ari nito, without having to name this person.
Yes, Pinky, and also the address where they reside. So I have received about 2 or 3 information already, no, as to who really owns this vehicle.
And do you know this person personally, sir?
No, Pinky, I really do not know him, no, this person. So
Opo.
baka ako na naman gawin padrino in social media. So
Yeah.
I would like
Mababalik.
the authorities na lang to mabaliktad na naman eh. So I'll just like let the authorities do their job.
Okay, but I'm just wanting to find out more about this. Hindi nyo po, alam nyo po yung pangalan, although this needs to be verified, that's clear. You don't want to name the person because it's really up to the authorities to do this. But just any information on this person. Is this person a private person, a businessman ho ba? Kasama ho ba sa Pogo? Ano ho yung, what details can you share regarding the owner of this vehicle?
Initial information I got is a businessman, no, who's really just scared of for security purposes. He's scared of the probably his stature, so that's why they have a convoy. But still, that's not a reason for you to have blinkers and escorts.
Okay, so next question, sir, is an investigation in order regarding this?
As of now, Pinky, I think the authorities are already having a crackdown already. The PNP has started. So let us see, because there's already a existing law, the presidential decree that is existent. No? So I think we just have to wait for the authorities to do their jobs. So medyo even the MMDA, the LTO are also kinabawala na rin po sila, Pinky. Pero I would say that those vehicles or persons in line of authority, they should be allowed. Yun lang mga private vehicles, government officials that are really not, that don't really need this warning devices in the performance of their duty should not use these devices.
I ask you that, Senator, because of your tweet that's generated a number of reactions. And one of the reaction was that maybe it might be a good idea for the Senate to investigate this. So are you open to this? Is this something you want to look into, or would you rather leave it to the authorities?
Because I think there's already a law that's existent, no? So there's no need for Senate investigation in aid of legislation. But if the PNP fails to enforce this particular, then probably they will have. Anyway, Pinky, budget season will be coming soon. So probably we can ask those questions already, updates on the operations of the PNP during the budget season as well.
Okay, what about President Bongbong Marcos? Do you think he should mention this, warn those who are not authorized to stop using blinkers and wang-wangs, as Pinoy did during his inaugural speech? Di ba sinabi ni Pinoy noon, walang wang-wang, walang counterflow?
Yes. I think, Pinky, that will be a good, it would be a good move if President Bongbong Marcos would mention this. Probably in his inaugural speech, just like inaugural address during the SONA, I think Pinoy also did that, no? And for 6 years, talagang sumunod lahat. Because when the president mentions anything, that's policy already. So if President BBM gives this directive, that's already policies, and everybody will follow.
Okay, and as I mentioned a while ago, and this is seen on social media, especially with your tweets, I was saying that this video generated a number of reactions. Some were even saying, Senator, na why are you ranting on social media? Sinama pa nga si Bro.
Yes.
Bro being Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, when you could have, ang sinasabi ko ng iba, done something about it since you are actually an elected official. What do you say to that? Kasi tinatawag po na rant, a word that I know you also used earlier during our interview.
Well, thinking from what I know, Twitter and other social media platforms are forums for freedom of expression. I'm also a citizen of the republic, so I have my right to express my opinions, my observations, even by rants or disappointments or frustrations. Then, for me, Pinky, the end is justifies the means. No? So, with my simple tweet, the PNP already acted, no, the HPG in particular. So that is more important, no. I think with that simple tweet, the PNP already did something, took action on this matter. So that is more important.
In other words, the positive you're saying outweighs whatever criticism you're getting
Yes.
from this tweet. Because
And we will do this in the proper forum, Pinky. Like example, as I mentioned, the budget season is just around the corner. Then probably during the budget season, the budget of DILG and PNP, when we hear them, then probably we can ask some updates and what they plan to do. So that's just around the corner.
All right, we're going to talk about your post as Deputy Majority Leader and of course, your priority bills. We will continue our conversation with Senator JV Ejercito after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Senator JV Ejercito. Senator, just one more issue I wanted to discuss with you regarding what we talked about prior to the break. So when we talk about Presidential Decree 96, which was back in 1973, this allows the use of blinkers and wang-wangs, unless, of course, this is authorized by the Presidential Decree. Pero yung sale po nito is allowed. Now, I think the PNP wants to go on and ask for, to regulate actually the sale of these wang-wangs and blinkers. Is this about time? Is this something that you would support?
Well, I think that's a very good suggestion from the PNP because Pinky, you can just see right now any Tom, Dick, and Harry has already wang-wangs and blinkers right now. No, any private vehicles, no, there's just a lot, and motorcycles. No, I'm a rider, but I can observe that a lot of motorcycles already have these blinkers and sirens. So I think I would support that. That's a very good idea. That those who are only authorized should be allowed to sell these devices.
So kayo po, wala kayong blinker, wala kayong wang-wang?
Ay, wala po, because I get more stressed, no, every time somebody escorts me. So I just it's really just time management, Pinky. All of us are in a hurry. As a government official, sometimes we have urgent matters to attend to, but it's just time management. You just have to leave earlier, no, than usual if it's really the traffic is really bad. So it's just time management. Lahat naman tayo nagdudusa sa traffic. Kailangan lang talaga mas maaga tayo umalis.
Now let's talk about your role, sir. Your additional role. Is it Senate Assistant Majority Floor Leader or Senate Deputy Majority Floor Leader?
It's Senate Assistant Majority Leader, Pinky, because the Senate President has an assistant. No? In case he is not around, it's a Senate President pro tempore. But the Majority Leader also needs, no, in case of sickness or is not incapacity, then there has to be someone who would have to take the cudgel. So that's why Senate President Nick Subiri did it important to have an assistant majority leader.
Were there Senate Assistant Majority Leaders in the past, sir?
I don't recall. No, in my 6 years in the Senate during the 17th Congress, I don't recall to have an assistant majority leader.
So the people we're looking at, of course, is Senate President Mig Zubiri, Senate Pro Tempore Loren Legarda, Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva, tapos kayo po yung Assistant Majority Leader after Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva.
That is correct, Pinky. That is
Okay.
correct. Just in case Senator Joel is sick or is not around, then I would take up the responsibility and task to be majority leader and try to put things in order on the floor.
But is there anything else that is required of you as Senate Assistant Majority Leader?
Well, that is the main task is really to be the traffic man, to make sure that the deliberations, no, and on the floor will be in order, to restore order in the floor, so that to make sure that the parliamentary rules are also followed. So that's the main
All
task
right.
of being majority leader, and also the prioritization of the preparation of the agenda is very important.
Let's talk about committees you have that you will be chairing. You have local government, you have urban planning and housing, and you already have 20, if I'm not mistaken, priority bills for the 19th Congress. I want to talk about the first one, very important, Comprehensive Infrastructure Development Master Plan. You were saying mass transit is very, very important, is vital to any country. But in the, let's say, short term or possibly even medium term, ano hong nakikita niyong Comprehensive Infra Development Master Plan?
But again, in fact, that is my number one priority bill. No? That's the very first bill that I filed, because it's great. It's good that during President Duterte's term, we started the build once again. No, yung ambitious infra development. I think, Pinky, we have talked about this several times. I believe that this is the only way that we can really spread out the development and create opportunities in the countrysides, in the rural areas. Because all opportunities are Metro Manila, Cebu, and Davao. That's why people flock to Metro Manila, Cebu, and Davao. We are already overpopulated. There's congestions because of lack of opportunities in the provinces. By having the infrastructure development, the railway system in particular, we will be able to create growth development areas in the provinces. And by doing that, we can have industrial parks, commercial centers, the housing will be there, and others, no, among others. So we will create opportunities outside Metro Manila. So we will decongest Metro Manila and create jobs and opportunities in the different provinces. So that is why I'm really pushing for this. That's why I made it number one, so that whoever sits as president in the future, we will already have a blueprint that the government will follow, that for infra development, because Pinky, infra development takes 50 to 100 years of planning. So we have started during the build again, the resurgence of infra development. I hope that this will continue, because I feel that this will really stimulate economic growth, and this is the only way that we can really provide jobs and opportunities, especially in the provinces.
Okay, number 3 among your 20 priority bills, also very important. I'm going to let's talk about this, adjusting PhilHealth contributions. Again, of course, Senator, we've talked about this a number of times, but also an update on this. Senator Grace Poe actually filed a bill seeking powers for the president to suspend the increase in contributions to PhilHealth, basically, of course, to help the Filipino people amidst this very siguro hard times, no? The pandemic, the rising prices of basic goods. In fact, it wants to amend Republic Act 11223, or the Universal Healthcare Act. This is, of course, a measure that you have authored, sponsored, studied, lahat po, no? This is really your baby, kumbaga nga. So ang mangyayari po dito, it gives the president the power and authority to suspend such increases in times of need. Do you have is your number 3 priority bill adjusting PhilHealth contributions complementary to this bill that Senator Grace Poe has filed?
Yes, I think it's complimentary. I'd like to thank Senator Grace for that because, Pinky, I hope the people will understand, our OFWs, in particular our employees, that during the time that we were drafting, we heard about we were conducting hearings about the universal healthcare law. Everything was doing very well. Our economy was doing very well. The world's economy was doing very well. So those numbers, those data were carefully studied. But we never expected that this health crisis or this pandemic would really rock the world. No, it's not only the Philippines who struggled, Pinky. It's the whole world that really struggled. And as the principal sponsor and author of this universal healthcare law, I am amenable to make the necessary adjustments because we have to adapt to the situation. That is why, Pinky, the bill that Senator Grace Poe filed is the same. It will be complementary to the one that I also filed, the number 3 priority, that is to amend universal healthcare law, in particular, the premium contributions. Because, Pinky, we are still in a health crisis. Kailangan makabawi muna ang ating ekonomiya, makabawi ang ating mga kababayan, no? Because of the effects of this crisis. So I am really amenable. We have to adapt to the situation.
Okay, and another priority bill I wanted to talk to you about is number 5, very important, Health Workers Salary Upgrading Act. Just in a nutshell, Senator, tell us more about this.
Yes, Pinky, we have observed, no, that in the recent years there's a migration of healthcare workers abroad, no, because we cannot blame them for seeking greener pastures for their family. Definitely, Pinky, we cannot match the salaries that first world countries would offer. But I feel that if you can only adjust it a bit, a little bit higher, give them the necessary benefits, privileges, I would think that most of these healthcare workers would rather stay here in the country. No? So itaas lang natin ng konti the way that the government has increased the salaries and the allowances of the uniformed personnel. Perhaps we can also do this for our healthcare workers who are now serving as our frontline, really the frontliners and our foot soldiers in this fight during this pandemic. So I would like to look into that so that we will have a guaranteed supply of our health workers here in the country.
All right, we need to take another short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Senator JV Ejercito. Senator, just want to get your thoughts on some resolutions or bills filed in both houses of Congress. First is Chacha. You have a Congressman Don Gonzales. He filed a resolution amending the Constitution that will actually allow a 5-year term for the president and vice president and allows 1 re-election bid. Likewise, also for House members and local government officials, it will be 5 years with a re-election bid. Do you support this, sir?
Well, that can be studied, Pinky. Personally, my position is that our Constitution was written 1987. That's almost 40 years ago. And I think it has to also adapt to the situation, to the current situation. I am more particular, Pinky, in the economic provision so that we can be more competitive again. Because when it was written, there was no such thing as globalization, World Wide Web, Internet. No, the world has become smaller. So we have to adapt to the situation. I am more particular in economic provision so that we can be more competitive. The things that you mentioned about the term limits, then that can be further studied. Personally, I think I became a local official. I was a mayor, congressman, now a senator. I think the 3-year term is really very short. No? Perhaps we can consider going to the 4-year term before. No? Kasi I think yung 5 years that is being proposed might be too long. 4-year term with re-election for national officials, for particularly the president and vice president, just like our own constitution, and probably 4-year term also for our local officials so that we can be more productive.
So you're looking at a possible 8-year maximum term for president, vice president, congressmen, and mayors, local government officials, instead of the 3-3-3. Pwede ka dun sa, you agree with the 4 and 4.
Yes, Pinky. At least
Okay.
that others may say that's too long, but I think that's why there's a yung after 4 years, there's a sort of a referendum. If the people would agree to that performance, then they can be re-elected for another term. So just like our old constitution, just like the one in the United States, no? That it's an 8-year divided into 2 4-year terms.
Yeah, but that if you look at the president and vice president, if this proposal of yours is pursued, hahaba po yung term nila ng 8 years from 6 years. And that's one. But doon po sa House of Representatives, iiksi po yung kanilang term because in fact they would be entitled to 9 years. And with your proposal, it will be slashed by 1 year. Papayagan lang po sila ng 8 years. Baka po hindi nila magustuhan yan.
Well, all of these things can be deliberated upon during the example CONAS or CONCON, whatever mode we will be following. So we will be weighing the pros and cons. Probably, pwede rin maging 3-4 year terms or 2 year lang. So, but that might be too long. So we will see. Kaya nga ang maganda lang PPG. We might think it's too long, but there's already every 4 years there's election. There's a sort of a referendum.
Yeah.
People can approve or disapprove of your performance.
Right, but of course there's also the advantage of the incumbent.
Yes, Pinky, that's reality. That's the reality of it, Pinky. So we really have to weigh things already, because that's very sensitive because it's a political already the political side of it. No? But again, Pinky, if there would be an amendment, I am more particular in the economic provision so that our country, our government can be more competitive, during this time of globalization.
Right, but I want to make this clear because of your proposal of 4 years with a re-election bid. Is this something you will pursue, or this is just something you would rather have rather than a 5-year plus 5-year for president, vice president, and local government officials and House of Representatives?
As I mentioned, Piggy, I would take, in my experience, 3 years is too short. Parang election na tayo ng election every 3 years. But I think, ako na personal ko lang to, yung 5 years might be too long. Let's meet halfway. I would like siguro yung 4 years and we go back to our old system. In case we really have an amendment to this to the Constitution.
Kung kinakailangan, kung mapunta doon, yun po yung punto ninyo. But this is not something you will pursue.
Yes, Pinky, I have more other matters that I would like to pursue, especially universal healthcare law, comprehensive master plan. So I have this as priorities. But again, for constitutional amendments, again, I would like to be more focused on the economic provisions rather than the political provisions.
Senator JV Ejercito, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pinky.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.